Pogba. All you had to do was score. With the 29th game week of the season completed, let's take a look at how my team performed and my transfer thoughts for Game Week 30. Ahead of Game Week 29, I made a single transfer and exchanged Lacazette with Chelsea's number 9 Higuain. For Game Week 29, I got 53 points, 13 points above the average, improving my ranking by another 100,000 places. I'm now 87 points behind the top 100k target. In the My FPL Strategy League, my position has 2 improved. Shout out to Smithman FC, who is now the new league leader. Now let's take a look at how my team performed and my transfer thoughts for Game Week 30. Man City recorded their 14th clean sheet of the season, beating Bournemouth 1-0. In all honesty, EDERSON had a very easy game, rarely troubled by the home side. In fact, Bournemouth failed to record a single attempt on goal, so in the end it was an easy 6 points for the Brazilian keeper. Man City's next fixture is a home match against Watford. No doubt Bournemouth tactics played a large part in Man City's latest clean sheet. However, the defending champion have now kept 6 clean sheets in the last 8. Despite the blank fixture in Game Week 31, City's upcoming fixtures look to have a great clean sheet potential. Thus, I'm satisfied for EDERSON to remain in my squad. Liverpool frustrated as Everton hold on to a derby draw. Robertson wasn't at his best in my opinion, failed really to hit top gear. However, he did occasionally make some good runs, recording 2 attempted assists. He had a tough time against Richarlison in the second half and picked up a booking for a foul against the Brazilian. Nevertheless, due to the clean sheet, the Scotsman returned a welcome 5 points. The Reds welcome Burnley next. So far this season, Liverpool have recorded 70 clean sheets, the highest in the league. With Robertson's attacking threat and Liverpool's clean sheet potentials, Robertson's starting spot in my team is irreplaceable. Doherty starts on the bench in a 2-0 victory against Cardiff. Leading up to this game, in the early morning there was rumours on Twitter that Doherty was unlikely going to start. At this point, I was contemplating in replacing Doherty with Ward-Prowse from the bench, but at the end chose not to, and ultimately proved to be the wrong decision. Despite Wolves picking up a clean sheet, due to playing less than 60 minutes, the Irishman only picked up a single point for match appearance. The Wanderers travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea next, a difficult fixture on paper. However, Chelsea have a European match on Thursday before facing Wolves 72 hours later, so Chelsea could come into this match tired, which could favour the Wanderers. Brighton won their first game of 2019, ending their 7 games without a win. Lewis Dunk had a decent display, solid in defence and recording 1 attempt on goal and 1 attempted assist. His overall performance earned him 1 additional bonus point, returning a solid 7 points. Brighton travelled to Selhurst Park to face Crystal Palace next. In the last fixture between the two clubs, Brighton beat the Eagles by 3-1. Crystal Palace end their long wait for a home win, beating Burnley 3-1. WAN-BISSAKA was straight back in the team, following a couple of games out through injury. The young right back had another convincing display, recording 1 assist. He was on course for additional bonus points if it wasn't for Burnley's stoppage time goal. Nevertheless, the Englishman returned a respectable 5 points. The Eagles welcome Brighton next, a desirable fixture on paper. In the last home fixture between the two clubs, Crystal Palace beat Brighton by 3-2. United nicked the victory in a 5-goal thriller against Southampton. Pogba was literally the difference between me having a fantastic game week or in an okay game week. With the armband on Pogba and United awarded a penalty, it was down to the Frenchman to deliver the goods. But for the 3rd time this season, the midfielder failed to convert from the penalty spot. To make matters worse, he then picked up a yellow card. Thus in the end, as my captain, the Frenchman returned an embarrassing -2 points. Ouch. Despite Pogba's poor performance against Southampton, coupled with United's next match against Arsenal and then followed with a blank game week, I'm still happy to hold on to the Frenchman simply because of the value I've built up and the upcoming double fixtures in mind. Son goes missing in the 1-1 draw against Arsenal. In all honesty, for me, Son hasn't quite been the same since the arrival of Harry Kane. Against Arsenal, he looked sharp in the first half, but gradually faded away. Struggled really to impose himself in the final third, only recording a single attempt on goal. He was subbed in the second half with 70 minutes to spare. Thus in the end, Son only returned 2 points per match appearance. Spurs play Southampton next, a decent fixture on paper. Son played 70 minutes in the Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Dortmund last Thursday. So at the moment, I'm contemplating whether to keep hold of Son for one more game week or switch the midfielder for a Game Week 31 asset. Salah blanks in the goalless draw against Everton. The Egyptian has now recorded his 5th blank in 6. In fact, if it ignored the goals scored via penalties, Salah has only scored 3 goals in the last 11 game weeks. In the game against Everton, the midfielder managed 2 attempts on goal with 1 attempted assist, but in the end the premium asset only returned a disappointing 3 points. Salah's up against Burnley next. Despite Salah's recent dip in form, his underlying stats are still impressive, and so for me, the Egyptian is likely to be my captain for Game Week 30. Back-to-back wins for Chelsea, beating Fulham 2-1 in the West London derby. Not the best game from Hazard, but the Belgium international still picked up his 11 assists of the season, recording the most Premier League assists of the campaign so far. After the game against Spurs, Hazard did mention he was feeling a bit tired and did look a bit legless at times against Fulham, so it was no surprise he was substituted in the second half. But in the end, the midfielder returned a welcome 6 points. Chelsea have a good run of fixtures and don't blank in Game Week 31. I expect Hazard's ownership to grow in the upcoming game weeks, especially with those without any FPL chips. Wolves gets back to winning ways with a goal apiece for the Wanderers strike force. Jimenez had an excellent game, netting his 11th Premier League goal this season, just 2 minutes after he teed up Jota's opener. In the second half, the Mexican had easily bagged the second, but was denied by the goalkeeper. Nevertheless, his overall performance earned him 3 additional bonus points, returning a whopping 12 points. Jimenez faced Chelsea next. Despite the tough fixture, Wolves have a good record against the top 6, beating Chelsea and Tottenham back in December. Higuain scores his 3rd Premier League goal of the season in a 2-1 victory against Fulham. Chelsea's number 9 opened the scoring with a clinical fine finish. He nearly scored a second with literally a carbon copy of the first goal just before half time. His underlying stats was impressive, recording 6 shots in the box with 3 attempted assists. His overall performance earned him 2 additional bonus points, returning a solid 8 points. The striker's next challenge is a home match against Wolves. With Game Week 31 fast approaching, there's no surprise that the Argentinian's price tag has increased, so I'm pretty happy to have him in my team already. So moving on to my transfer thoughts for Game Week 30. With the blank game week just around the corner, my next move is to bring in a player who's available for Game Week 31. So at the moment, I'm contemplating 2 options. Option 1 will be to exchange Son with Liverpool midfielder Sane. Liverpool have a decent run of fixtures and don't blank in Game Week 31. However, I'm torn whether to bring in another Liverpool defender instead for that precious third Liverpool spot. Or option 2 would be to exchange informed Jimenez with Bournemouth striker Joshua King. Like Liverpool, Bournemouth too have a fixture in Gameweek 31 and play bottom of the league Huddersfield next. Granted, this is a brave move, but unlike many FPL managers, I don't have any value in Jimenez, and many managers will feel condemned to keep the Mexican despite the fact that Wolves blank in Gameweek 31. So it could work to my advantage. So at the moment, with only 9 game weeks to go, I feel it's time to make some risky but sensible moves, so I'm leaning towards option 2. If I do decide to exchange Jimenez with King, I'll probably play a 3-5-2 formation with Ward-Prowse back in midfield and Shaw back in defence. For captaincy, it's hard to look past Salah despite his recent form, so for now he gets the armband. Please note my team is not locked in, and if you'd like to see my final team selection, be sure to follow me on Twitter, all my details in the description below. And that's all from me today guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.